Well, hello everyone. We are here with Christopher Delalonde in a strange position at the moment, but we're talking about rosé today, so why not? Let's discuss rosé. It's kind of like 10 minutes about rosé, but with Chris, it's sometimes difficult because he can talk a lot. So yeah, let's
I
go
think
with
people
that.
know now 10 minutes is, in my vocabulary is it's 20. But
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, fair enough. So, question number one. Let's see how rosé wine is made.
How is rosé wine is made? So there is,
Mixing white and red. That's an option.
yes, it's true. That's what most people think it's how it's made. But unfortunately, it's against the law. Only one region in the world can mix white and red is Champagne.
US? Oh, champagne. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Champagne. Yeah, Champagne. So how is rosé is made? So rosé, given the color, is coming from red variety. You can't make rosé out of a white grape variety unless it has a pinkish tune, a little bit like the Ramato system that is used for Pinot Grigio, because
Yeah.
Pinot Gris, as such as
Pinot
this
Gris.
name, it's gris, so it's not completely green. It's
Yeah.
not completely red. It has a green touch to it, red touch to it. So
Yeah.
if you ferment with a bit of contact, you will have what we call in Italian called Ramato, and it's slightly rosé
Yeah.
hue on the Pinot Grigio. However, to make rosé in general, you will need red varieties because anthocyane, basically, it's a technical word for a colorific element that lives on the skin, on the side of the skin of each berries, and then as you make a red, you make that maceration, so the sort of tea bags where the juice in contact of the skin with elevated temperature and time will extract slowly that those components and will get from clear, basically, because most of the red varieties have a clear juice. They don't have a color juice. They have a clear juice, and then they will become rosé and then eventually red. So as I said, they will become rosé first. This is at this stage that the winemaker decide, okay, my maceration has been long enough. I've got the color required, so I split the liquid and the solid. So usually it happens in tank. You open the valve, basically all the juice come through. It goes into a tank to finish the fermentation alcoholic, and then everything else goes to the bin or gets distillated or whatever. So that's how you make rosé. In champagne, it's different. In champagne, you will make a white wine because champagne, even though Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier are red varieties, champagne, most of champagne produced is white. But what they do is they take the best red wine from best vineyards such as Aï, makes fantastic red wine character. Cumière make really strong, and Bouzy make really strong red of really high quality Pinot Noirs. And then they use 2 to 3% of this and add it to the finished product to get basically the color they want. It's the only region in the world. Arguably, Prosecco does also that. They add a little bit of red to make nowadays their rosé prosecco, which is kind of a new addition to the market. So that's how
Yeah.
rosé is made. It's basically a short maceration and a splitting of the solid and the liquid when you achieved the color you wanted. That's why some winemaker or some tradition will have more color than others. It will also depend on the grape variety you use. Some grape variety are more caloric than other. Some grape variety, very rarely, but like Alicante Boucher, for example, a very traditional old grape variety, the juice is not white, it's red. So it's very colorific. So if you make a rosé out of that, this will not be that color. Take it that way.
So just simplify the process. If the winemaker falls asleep during maceration, then they make red wine. If they don't, they can make rosé, right?
Yeah, because that maceration to get that color will probably last between 8 and 12 hours
Yep.
only, instead of being 3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. That brings us to the next question. Because obviously, if you look at regions like uh, Tavel, for example, they become very dark in their colors. Does dark equal sweet? Another major
Perception.
question in probably people's mind. I
Dark.
should reframe the question. Why would people not buy dark rosés? Is it because they think they are sweet?
I think no. I think it's more to do with perception of what is the point of drinking a rosé is having something that is closer to a white but has a sort of a red information to it, maybe
Yeah.
on profile. Also because there is a sense of place. The Provence, for example, makes rosé and you by the sea. Some of the other exactly some other coastal areas throughout the world and Europe and the world make rosé, but because again there's a tradition and sense of place. But I think it's sort of the expectation of the rosé today is quite pale to have that sort of gentle, easy, light-bodied, light in alcohol that you can have 1 to 6 glasses, if you see what I mean. So now there's two schools, obviously, even in the Provence, where you got clear color, but you still have quite a lot of ripeness. Because again, coming from red grape variety, you will definitely and potentially have a certain a potential of wine that has body dexterity yet, but power and complexity and we'll talk about that in a second, capacity to age. Again, if you think about wine from La Rioja, so classical white production of La Rioja, I think it's about 8%, and rosé production of La Rioja, I think it's 1%. But those the legislation, the nomenclature of Crianza Reserva. So Crianza is 2 years of aging, Reserva is 3, and Grand Reserva is 5. Okay, this work as well for white, for rosé, and for red. So potentially you can find in the Rioja, you can find rosé Grand Reserva. And you would think, hang on a minute, a rosé that has been aged for 5 years in bottle and in oak,
Yeah.
how does that taste? Well, it tastes fabulous. That's even
Yeah.
who makes it.
It is
And
beautiful. Yeah.
but those wines have a fantastic, it's tradition. Yes, exactly. And that's why darker rosé, like Tavel is a good experience. It's a good expression because they only make rosé in Tavel. And Tavel will have a bit more because it's southern part of the Rhone Valley, will have a bit more oomph when it comes to the color, but it doesn't mean that they are not digest. It doesn't mean that they're not approachable. They have a different structure. So again, this is potentially a different way of drinking. Maybe not straight away as an aperitif, maybe more with food, maybe more with to finish with, maybe not at 12 o'clock, but rather at 5 o'clock, and so on and so forth.
But it doesn't mean sweet because
So
dark
in the
rosé
essence of the
a bit sweet.
question, no, dark doesn't mean sweet. Dark is definitely, it's more to do with structure, grape varieties, so implementation of some characteristic, but not sweetness.
Yeah. And
Sweetness,
then
you think about sweetness, sweetness is sugar. And then
yeah,
in any wines, a part of a sweet wines, you don't want any residual sugar. So
yeah,
what you want to do, you want to basically all eat all those, the yeast to eat all those sugar to produce alcohol. So the wines will have that balance, that structure, yes, but you don't want any residual sugar. No one wants a sweet rosé as such.
maybe the white Zinfandel, what you can get in supermarkets.
I've the
Yeah,
blush, as they call it,
yeah.
to be honest
Sorry,
with you. It's to,
I
to
shouldn't
my to my
mention.
sin to my sin. I went to the US few times and I've been offered to I've never tested. I never bought a bottle, never tested it, and I will probably never. Because this is to me this is antichrist. And I should eventually do it just to get round. But
Out of professional curiosity, that's all.
yeah, precisely. No, I should do it. But you come to a supermarket in the UK and you see those things, the packaging and the price and so on, and you're thinking, my goodness,
Yeah,
really? It's more scary to me. It's really scary.
yeah, 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 exactly. Right.
Manufactured product, like really made out of a recipe with potentially a little bit of this and that and that and that,
Yeah,
not really real winemaking, real craft. It's more elaborated in a laboratory. It's just, I don't know, I don't know, maybe
yeah,
I'm too negative, but and people say, no, it's fantastic. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy it, but it's something that to me, it's the perception of blush in general, the way blush has been sort of brought to the market is something to sort of please a generation a little bit. If we think about it in terms of generation, I think it's a good point. If we remember, I wasn't born yet, but in the 50s, 60s, 70s, in news shows in the UK, how was it called? Was it called Blue Nun?
Yeah.
German Riesling that were overly sweet, overly sulfites, and again, pleased a lot of people in university because they could get hammered with not much money.
Yeah.
But most of those people got really sick out of it because of the sulfur. And then nowadays they're thinking Riesling is sweet and is horrible, whereas Riesling is not sweet, especially, and it's not horrible. So
Yes.
again, this is a perspective of time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't seen and haven't heard of a blush or a white Zinfandel in years. I think that has died out completely.
I think it's still in supermarkets, but you mentioned something about price, and I think that's a good example, because if you go to the supermarkets and you buy white Zinfandel from them, it's probably
I
going to
mean,
be
the thing
still
is,
cheap.
to make a rosé, you need some material. To make a
Yes.
great rosé, otherwise, we spoke about it before, make white wine is like being a plumber or an electrician in a house.
Yeah.
Make red wine is like to be a carpenter. Yes, both trade or the three different trades work in building. Yes, but it's not the same job.
Yeah.
It's not the same job at all. So what I'm trying to say here is that making a white wine is one dexterity, one profile, one focus. Making a red wine is another one. Great white wine maker, not especially great red wine maker, and vice versa. Very vice versa. I've got a very good friend of mine in Burgundy that always says, to make better red, you need to make white, because the precision to make white is so much more intense, much more precise, that it will help you developing that precision to your red. So, point being is that to make rosé, you need to have those skills, but you need also a lot of materials. You need
Yeah.
some tools. You need some tank. You need some moderating temperature tank. You need a high tank, small tank. So all this cost. It's very, very
Yeah.
expensive. Very large, let's say 300 liters, 3,000 liters, 3 to 30 hecto, which is classic stainless steel tank, will cost you a car 15 grand. And then you need one of those, potentially according to the size of the estate, so maybe 4 or 5 of those, plus smaller because you got different batch. So and everything needs to be refrigerated, capable to be refrigeration, so double walled. I mean, it's the investment in a winery to make top end rosé is, and potentially some oak as well, and some respiration system and so on and so forth. So it can be very, very technical. It's very technical to make rosé. So trust me, this is not cheap.
Yeah. So this is a misconception.
Yeah, completely.
So
Cheap
rosé
rosé
is not
has
true.
enough to
Yeah.
be. Usually, it's not. And if you think about champagne, for example, rosé champagne, as a fact, is always more expensive than white rosé.
Yeah.
Always. If you take the non-vintage rosé, the non-vintage whatever brand, the non-vintage one, the entry level, the rosé will sit more expensively.
It's a good example as well, because rosé champagne is obviously a very scarce thing, or very limited. Is rosé more expensive because of a trend as well? A trend
No,
of
it's because of
consumer
the red wine.
behavior?
It's because of the red wine. The red wine production in Champagne, where those vineyards are located, and the quality of the red wine is the kilograms of those fruit is much more expensive, much more demanded. It's very scarce, so obviously the price, the demand really outskirts the production. So obviously it goes higher. So
But
your
in terms
cost
of
will go up, therefore your selling price will have to go up.
but in terms of general rosé production, not just champagne, but any other place, obviously rosé is a very trendy drink nowadays. Would
Yeah.
that make the go up as well? I believe it would.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
So would it make the price go up because it's trendy?
Oh,
Obviously,
of
if something is
yeah,
scarce,
grid will install. Yeah, grid will install. But I think just pure production costs because of the temperature, because of obviously electricity and so on and so forth, the quality of the grape that you need to get. You can't make a good rosé. It's like cooking. If you're making a duck and or tomato sauce with rotten tomato, the tomato sauce will not taste good. So if you're trying to make a good rosé out of bad fruit, it's not going to be great. So again, you can't hide behind the rosé. There's no much technique that you can. There's no makeup,
Yeah.
to hide behind, the oak that you can sometimes use in cheap white wine or the sheep, whatever. You can't do that. On the same thing for the red. You can use some winemaking technique to hide a little bit some mistakes. In rosé, there is nowhere. It will not forgive you if you make any mistake. So no, I think yes, rosé could potentially go higher, because you could also argue that some elements of the winemaking, maybe of oak, maybe of Toth vineyard, because elevated, because small production and blah 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 blah. If you take Chateau d'Esclans, so Whispering Angel, Rock Angel, then you've got Chateau d'Esclans, or Esclans is called, and then you've got this stupid Garus, which is like 5 times the price of
Yeah.
the. I mean, it's a great wine. Don't get me wrong; it's delicious, but it goes in oak. It's got batonnage, it's quite oily, it's rich. But I mean, on wine list, it's something like £250, £300 for rosé. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Yes. Yeah. But can that wine age? Because that's my next question as well. Just to try to keep it to the 10-minute line as close
But
as
again,
possible.
the perception of rosé is a little bit like somewhere, Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand, or Sancerre, or people think that having the latest vintage means freshness, means quality, means is the one to be drunk now, because it has all the ingredients and the vivacity and the youth and so on and so forth. To a certain extent, yes, rosé is supposed to be drunk in his youth.
Most.
But again, the example of rioja that is aged for 5 years before being released, there is tradition somewhere in the world where aging of any given wine, and even the rosé, is part of the tradition, in order to give the wine the capacity to represent what it's supposed to do. I mean, to lately we tested a Côte de Provence Cru Classé 2023, and one of the comments, exactly, the comment out of this wine is, yes, you can drink it today, tomorrow, 6 months time, but potentially drink it next summer or the summer after that will bring another layer to the wine, because there's so much complexity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think
yes, rosé, in essence, rosé can age. Yes, maybe not 15 years, but potentially you could sit on some of the rosé for a couple of years without a doubt.
yes, we obviously discussed Tondonia, and I think you obviously tasted it. I tasted it as well, but it's probably not even for everyone. I would say, because first of
No,
all,
no, no.
you don't have enough
Rosé, I
quantity.
think rosé really belongs nowadays, belongs to a demographic. What I'm trying to say by that is that rosé used to be that sort of cycle. You would put rosé on your wine list May, April, May, and then by the end of September, the sales will stop.
Yeah.
London, Paris, New York, Sydney, wherever you would be in the world, that would be the sort of format where you would have rosé on the one list. Nowadays, you have rosé, potentially 3 or even 5 rosé, 2 rosé by the glass, at least 365 days a year.
Yeah.
And you will sell rosé the 1st of January, and you will sell rosé the 31st of December. And people
Yeah.
will drink rosé whenever. It doesn't matter. So that sort of market has changed dramatically due to a certain demographic. But I think, given also the perception, we come back to the first point, that rosé is perceived as a lighter style of wine. It's not as light as white. It's not as strong as red. So
Yeah.
drink something in the middle. The perception of a light rosé, light colored rosé, is something light, easy, approachable. I'm not going to get hammered after a bottle between two of us. I can go party, drink more, and so on and so forth. So that's the sort of perception of rosé. Nowadays, people drink much less and less and less and less in general. They're much more health conscious. So again, that perception really fit that vision, by, okay, I'm drinking a bottle of rosé between two of us. It feels like I'm not drinking that much.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So, and that takes me to my last topic or last question. Rosé wines are for aperitif only. I think it's a massive misconception, to be honest.
Again, it's again that sort of sense of place. If you think about, again, it's mid of July, you are either even in London in your garden, barbecue with mate on a Sunday, and it's kind of 5 o'clock, and you start the party and say, okay, let's have a glass of rosé, or as the barbecue warm up and so on and so forth. So sort of, summery, it's been a hot day, let's get something refreshing. Why not? You know what I mean? Or you are in the south of France, or in Spain, or in Italy, in Portugal, whatever. A beautiful sunny day. It's 11:30, and you're thinking, okay, you got all the family around. Okay, let's have a glass of rosé as an aperitif. Yes, sense of place, sense of party time, family time, enjoyment, jovial, whatever the vocabulary you might use. But in essence, especially how rosé are made nowadays, with the complexity, the intensity, and the quality, you could argue that you could have 5 different brands of rosé and drink rosé throughout the entire day or entire meal, with different expression and different characteristics.
Yes, you are obviously responsible for some of the, well, probably the best restaurants in the UK, at least for the wine list. But do you put rosé in because it's just the demand for rosé, or do you put rosé in because it can be matched with food or different cuisines and stuff?
We have we have constantly, so on one of the brand that I run, we have 5 rosé, and constantly 2 by the glass and the rest by the bottle. In another other brands, we have 3 roses, and we have constantly 2 by the glass.
Yeah,
And then on the latest opening last year, same thing. We have 4 roses and constantly 2 by the glass.
yeah,
So yes, because the demand is there. Yes, because the quality of winemaking improved so much that nowadays you really find rosé that you want to list, and that represent a sense, in the location, and tradition, and so on and so forth. But also are just, esoteric. Such, I like to play with classic and esoteric, so it gives
yeah,
guests an option to taste something new and different, not just the classic Côte de Provence or whatever. So yes, there is a sell aspect that it sells. So why not? There's a demand for it, and you don't want to people to feel alienated. But also because, again, it works so well with the type of food that we
yeah,
offer. There is, like some wine in general, some sparkling wine. There is the wines that you drink with pleasure, and there is wine for gastronomy. There is
yeah,
really wine that are designed and made to work with high level of gastronomy, or just gastronomy in general, not even going to the high level. So yes, it works well with the food, because again, that acidity, that freshness, and that sort of almost that capacity to blend with almost anything, from
yeah,
pasta, pizza, passing by Mediterranean flavors, passing by Asian, spicy, super
yeah,
spicy, non-spicy, textured, grilled, steamed, and so on and so forth. Wok, and whatever you want to raw, cooked, and so on. So it has a certain versatility. It has a almost like a chameleon aspect to the food and wine matching. So yes, why not? Why not? One of the restaurants, we have a Moroccan rosé.
Volubilia. Is it Volubilia?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. In
Really
another
good
restaurant,
wine.
we have a Sancerre rosé.
Mhm.
So again, one of those appellations that produce rosé that nobody really hear of. You say, Sancerre white, obviously. You know a bit of Sancerre red, but Sancerre rosé, but yeah, Sancerre rosé, and it's absolutely delicious. And another, we have a Marsanais rosé. So again, Marsanais, the only appellation in Burgundy that has the appellation to the right to produce a rosé under the village name, not just as a sort of generic
Yeah,
or even declassified. So it's, again, giving the opportunity of people to drink a Côte de Provence, because this is
yeah,
what is the essence nowadays, and something a bit more esoteric. So Corbière, Moroccan, we got. It's not Tanzania, Pakistan. It's impossible to find, and far too expensive. But we have another rosé from Spain. Again, the color is much darker, but it's by the glass. So the point is, do you want to test something else? Do you want to
yeah,
compare? and it's not cheap in money, So as a guest, if you are adventurous, you can have 2 glasses of rosé and then say, okay, which one actually do I prefer? Maybe by sight, the Côte de Provence, but if I forget about the sight, actually, this has a
Yeah.
point. So we
Yeah.
like to challenge guests and we like to play with them.
No, that's brilliant. One last question. What is your favorite rosé currently, if you have one?
The next bottle.
Fair enough. Okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. Well, Chris,
Now I don't
thank you.
know. To be honest, my next what really I've tasted was very surprised by the Marsanais we have is actually really it's very very delicious, beautiful fruit character. What else have I tasted on the rosé side that was sort of impressed? There's something from my Bramatella. It's a Piemontese Nebbiolo Rosé. Nebbiolo Ugeta, very good rosé. We have that battle glass, really good for rosé. One we tasted today, I mean, the Le Côte de Provence Domaine de la Croix is a very eloquent and well judged and knitted expression. And I think to really summarize the best rosé, the wine I would buy and I would drink not often because you can't find the one I said is Tondonia. I love
Vino
Tondonia rosé.
Tondonia. Yes, exactly. I spoke to the winemaker and they said they have usually per vintage three barrels. One they keep in Spain, one in the US, and one in the UK, and that's it. Apparently,
Yeah,
but I
I
don't
mean,
know if
I've
it's
got
true.
I buy Tondonia every year for the
Mm.
business, obviously, but for myself, I get a very small allocation.
Yeah.
And this year, I got 3 bottles.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky, and I'm very lucky to have 3 bottles.
Yeah.
It's not who you are, it's who you know, as I say.
Yes.
And I know
Yeah.
I know the Tondonia family very well. When I worked at Dorchester, they came there to stay. I went to Tondonia twice. I know their estate manager Maria is a good friend of mine. So I'm looked after. Put it
Yes.
that way. But we do quite a lot of business as well as within the operations. So yeah, we have a really good relationship, and I love what they do. I really love what they do. But Fernando,
Yeah.
my assistant is Spanish. She's from the north of Spain, a bit further up than Rioja, and she doesn't like Tondonia.
Fair
For
enough.
her,
It's her loss. It's more for you.
why not? And she's Spanish, so she definitely knows more than I do. But she doesn't like Rioja. She doesn't like Tondonia. It's for her, it's not the archetype. So who knows? Who
Yeah,
knows?
exactly.
Not me
Well,
anyway.
anyway, Chris, it obviously we didn't make it in 10 minutes, but that's fine. We expected this from you.
There's
At
always
the end of
things
the
to
day,
say, and yeah, trying to be elaborated on a subject that is vast. I mean, you can't. It's sweet rosé, dark rosé sweet. No, it's not good enough. I'm afraid.
yeah,
You need
yes,
to elaborate, articulate,
exactly.
and elaborate. Anyway, thanks very much.
Guys,
Good to see you, and thank you
yeah,
very much for following us again on this platform. And hopefully, if you have any question, whatever ways to communicate, do not hesitate. I will
exactly.
take the time to reply. And then, if you have any topic that you want us to discuss, let us know as well. I think it's an open platform, and as long as you're happy to listen to my accent and me talking, it's fine.
Exactly.
I can do that.
And then very soon we start advertising Chris's homemade barbecue party, because then we're going with, obviously it's going to be very expensive. I'm going for free, and I'm taking some perfect Cellar wines. That's it.
Yeah. We have a nice lineup. I think so far it's about. I don't even count in bottles. I count in liters.
Yes, exactly. Well, guys, anyway, drink some more rosé. That's my advice.
Nah.
No, I have to
Anyway.
cut this out now. Bye.